Good day and welcome to all the interested parties, where we're going to contemplate for the next few minutes theory in research. We're specifically going to focus on teaching and learning theories, as accounting education is my field of interest. I'm Mrs. Madeleine Kluter, and please join me for this discussion. Why would we need theories in such a pragmatic field as teaching and learning? Theories can help us to understand the why and the how of human behavior. A theory can not only explain why and how something happened, but it also has predictive powers. So identifying and correctly applying a theory in your research is like having an experienced research partner. You always have that backing of experience. It's like having a guardian angel. And this is especially helpful with submitting articles to journals. So the first broad spectrum of theories that we're going to look at is behaviorism. Behaviorism believes that the learning process is defined by observable behaviors. So behavior of your subjects is investigated based on the relationship between a stimuli and the response to that. Behavior can be influenced by controlling the stimuli and controlling the response. At the bottom of each of these broad theories, I will have the seminal references that if you choose one of these theories, it's always important to refer to seminal papers in your application of the theory. So for behaviorism, you can always look for Thorndike, Pavlov, Skinner, and Watson. The next broad collection of theories is Cognitivism, where learning is an internal mental process. So this process includes receiving, decoding, storing, and recalling information. Individuals in this theory form mental networks of lived experiences. So you can see there's already an internalization versus behaviorism, where we worked with cues and resulting behavior. One of the seminal authors here, Anderson. So the last broad category, Constructivism. Here learning is an individual construction process. So learners construct knowledge as they interact with their environment. Learning is more goal-driven, and knowledge and skills are constantly developing due to frequency, very important, interaction, experimentation, organizing, and integrating different concepts. Again, our seminal author. So let's have a look at student and facilitators' roles under these three broad theoretical categories. First, if we have a look at behaviorism, here the lecturer or facilitator plays a highly active role, controlling either the stimulus or the response, and the learner as a respondent only needs to operate in the environment and respond to the different stimuli. So you can see that the lecturer is the more active party in this, while the learner only responds to the cues. In cognitivism, the lecturer is still actively involved, but they ensure that the content is organized and presented in digestible chunks. Learners are more active than in behaviorism, as they need to retain and produce targeted knowledge and skills. So under cognitivism, it's more of a reciprocal process between the facilitator and the learner. If we then have a look at constructivism, here the lecturer is still active, but during the design phase only, as a facilitator during the learning process. So the learner is now the most active, still responding to the environment, but now through interaction and not only through response. So we have heroes from lecturers to learners all the way through. Now, in these three broad categories, between them, if we add the element of peer participation, you can see that we add the construct of social cognitivism. The same for constructivism. As soon as you add a group or peer learning, we classify it as social constructivism. So the theoretical evolution of the teaching and learning theories, in this slide you can see the behavioral theoretical approach actually was studied first, where we have a more extrinsic motivational process. So this can be example of direct instruction, and can you see computerized instruction is also classified under behavioral and a behavioral approach, because not everything that you put behind a screen is elevated to another cognitive or constructivist approach. Under the cognitive theoretical approach, here we deal with memory aids, advanced organizers, and meaningful learning. Can you see it's already more internalized than just extrinsic motivation via cues and responses and differences in behavior? And then if we carry on to constructivism, now we go to internalized active learning, problem-based learning, inquiry-based learning, and very important, reflection. So how does theory work in action? I'm just quickly going to discuss the two ways of deriving a theory: inductive first of all, and then deductive. If we have a look at the inductive way of deriving a theory, we start off by collecting the data. Then from the data, we identify a pattern, which will help us to formulate our hypotheses. And then from the hypotheses, we can determine which theory can explain what we saw or what we witnessed through the data. Deductive, we start off with identifying the theory that we want to investigate or that we want to apply in this particular intervention. From the theory, we formulate a hypothesis, then we collect the data, and the data findings will then confirm both our hypotheses and the theory that we applied. So after our session, we have 2 or so more minutes. So you can read the introduction of it's just an extract from a nice article that I want you to have a look at, and it's Students' Experience of Team Assessment with Immediate Feedback in a Large Accounting Class by Shmurian and Kutsia. So while you're reading this and you think about the 3 broad categories of learning and teaching theories that we've discussed, also make use of a website, learningtheories.com, where they drill down to more detailed learning theories as well, but use these 2 tools to identify the applicable learning theory applied in this teaching and learning intervention. Remember, in these theories, we don't have like distinct lines in the sand between behaviorism, cognitivism, and constructivism. You can have elements of one or more of these, even all 3 of them. So it's not like there's a right or a wrong way, a right or a wrong theory, but as long as you use your inductive or deductive process to identify the applicable theory, I think that this will be your best guardian angel, or like we said, experienced research partner, choosing and applying a theory in your research. just a few references and some other websites that you can use. Thank you for joining me, and good luck with your future research endeavors.